Le preguntaron a esta doctora a partir de qué edad se debía empezar el proceso para volver a una persona en alguien sumamente delicado que se autopercibe color rosa, y su respuesta te dejará boquiabierto. Por esa razón, la mujer que ves en pantalla no escatimó en decirle la verdad acerca de estas sucias acciones a la supuesta doctora y a este hombre con maquillaje que se autopercibe mujer, y lo verás en este video. En él verás a esta disque doctora cuyo nombre es Helen Weberly, que irónicamente parece desconocer totalmente la biología, siendo asesorada. Mira el video completo y dime si dejarías que esta doctora ponga sus manos encima tuyo o no.
You know as a doctor that men have a biological advantage. Muscle mass, lung capacity, blah, 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 blah. It's why we separate the sexes. Otherwise, in the Olympics, women wouldn't win any gold medals, or silver, or bronze.
Not true.
Actually, women would win.
I've got a good idea for
I think
you.
I
I've
read
got
a
a good
survey that
idea.
said women might win 2 medals in the entire Olympics if they made it gender neutral, which would be a disgrace. Now, Dr. Webley, why are you
I've
as a
got a good
doctor
idea
trying to
for you.
ignore biology?
I haven't been able to speak yet, so I don't know why I'm being
Feel
accused of
free, fire
ignoring
away.
it. Thank you. I've got a really good idea, right? There's a load of debate about puberty blockers and gender affirming care amongst transgender people worldwide. If we let transgender young people, transgender feminine young people, have access to the puberty blockers and gender affirming hormones that they are asking to have, then they wouldn't build that muscle mass, they wouldn't have increased skeletal size, and they wouldn't have
What
the
age are you going to do
advantage.
this?
Well, you usually get puberty blockers when puberty starts. That's
So what
happens.
age are you going to do this to kids?
Well, I just answered when puberty starts.
give me
you
an
got
age.
it. Well, puberty starts between the age of around about 8 to 11.
You're going to
depending on
give
whether you've got
8-year-olds
testicles or
drugs
ovaries.
to try and resolve this problem. Have you learned nothing from the whole Tavistock clinic? Well, I don't think it's funny. I'm a father of 4 kids, including a 13-year-old girl. I don't think any of this is funny. The fact that your solution is to drug, is to block puberty for 8-year-old kids. Really?
I'm a mother of 5 children, and I believe that every single child deserves the right to live their best life.
Absolutely fine.
And for
as Tommy said,
for some
nobody has a
children,
problem.
That is a transgender
You can
life.
live as a dog or a cat, as far as I'm concerned. It's
No,
fine.
I don't think I'd let my children do that. Sorry,
Well, actually, there are kids at school called furries who go as a cat. And I said,
we've had this argument time and time again.
and my
We're not talking
solution,
about
by the way,
furries.
my solution is I would absolutely respect their right to be a little furry cat, and I would give them a little litter tray outside the thing where they could go and urinate, and I give them cat food. And trust me, after 2 days, they're back being girls again. Tommy,
Here's, I have a question.
Tommy, the
I have a
answer,
question I'd
Tommy,
really
well, hang on,
I'd
Sarah.
like to ask you.
Hang on, don't all talk at once. Tommy, the answer apparently is to give puberty blockers to 8-year-olds.
So my question,
that's called child abuse. And the fact that you have somebody on this panel that is advocating for the ability to debilitate young boys so that they have gender delusion, so that their body is now being mutilated, their actual biology is being changed irreversibly so that they compete against little girls. That's really the solution here. Let's debilitate boys so they don't have an advantage. Let's make sure that they don't have better muscle capacity and lung capacity. Let's make sure that they're just debilitated. Why don't we just break their arms and their legs while we're at it so that they can compete against the little girls? Do you realize how sick that sounds? That's abuse.
Yeah, I'm afraid it is. And Sarah, I know you're keen to get into this debate. So on Saturday, A.B. Hernandez wins gold in the girls' high jump and triple jump at the California High School Track and Field Championships. The problem is A.B. Hernandez is a biological male, right? So that means a girl has been deprived of winning 2 gold medals. How can that be fair? How is that right? How is any of this not just completely insane? And why would you, as a trans person, not see that and then think the obvious solution to this is that either you compete against your biological sex, as most trans athletes have done for many years before they suddenly put their hand up and say, I want to compete against women, and then they're much more, and then they're much more successful, which says it all, or you have your own category. What is wrong with having a trans category? What is wrong with that?
Well, there's so much to unpack here. I mean,
Not
first of all,
really.
tell me exactly how many trans athletes have gone and made a career out of sports, who are making a living out of sports as a pro athlete. It
Well, the
just
United
doesn't exist.
Nations said
and
that
the whole
United
argument that
Nations
you
said-
are all using, that it's
The
this
United
massive
Nations said 900
where trans women
medals have
are
been
dominating.
The United
That
Nations.
would be easy
Hang
to point
on.
out to all the people
Hang
who are
on.
dominating. And
You
they're
asked me a
not.
question. I'm replying. The United Nations had a report recently. It said 900 medals last year around the world were deprived from female athletes because biological males who were trans athletes competing in women's sport won the medals. It's
No,
much
they're
more prevalent.
including,
It's much more prevalent.
participation medals in that,
It's
right?
much more prevalent than the trans world would like people to think. And now you've got people like A.B. Hernandez, who's being supported all over the place by a woke left who didn't get the memo from Trump's win that people are sick of this garbage.
How terrible is it that a trans woman is doing well?
It's
How terrible
terrible
is it that you have to point out
terrible that
how
a
bad it is
biological
that she
male.
got a
It's
medal?
terrible that a biological male has an unfair physical advantage that allows the trans athlete, in this case A.B. Hernandez, to win gold medals in 2 state events. It
With
is
such
not
an
just
advantage,
terrible.
you would
it
think
is
she
shame.
won some
it is,
kind of
it is an
record-breaking
absolute
victory, which
Sarah,
she did not.
Sarah, it is an absolute disgrace, and you know it. In your heart, you know it. This trans
Incorrect.
nonsense in sport has to stop. My question for you, why don't you just
Why
have...
is it nonsense?
Why don't you... Because you've got an unfair advantage. It's like cheating with drugs. It's the same thing. It's like when all the cyclists...
then
why
do we
EPO.
celebrate it in males? Why do
Sorry?
we celebrate biological advantages in males? Why?
When do you ever see a trans man do well in sport?
Many times.
Go on, name
Many
one.
times.
Name one in the
you
boxing.
guys just aren't focused
Name one
on
in
it
the
'cause
boxing
they're
ring.
males.
You ever see a trans male boxer do well?
Yes.
Go on, where? Name me an Olympic gold
I don't
medal.
have my source in front of me.
Name me the last
unfortunately.
time a
I'm
trans
not here
male
to-
won Olympic gold against a bloke.
How many trans people in general are winning
More and
Olympic
more
medals?
and more. That's the
Imane
problem.
Khalif won
So
a
I
medal
say,
and you
Too
have
many.
your own,
destroyed
have
her
your
team.
own
many.
pickleball trans category. I don't care. I want you to be enjoying your sport. I want you to be great at your sport. I want you to live your life, live your dream. I just don't want you trashing women's rights. What's wrong with that?
Women's rights are my rights.
Well, they're not
Women's
really when it comes to
rights
sport,
are my
are they?
rights
No,
as
you're
well.
not- if you're
and
not
if
a
you
woman,
want
then
to
they're
try
not
and
your
take
rights.
away my rights, that's on you. But I will fight every day.
You're
for the
taking
people who
women's
are being
rights away. Why would you-
discriminated against,
why do you care
demonized
about
just
your
because
rights
they
but not
enjoy
women's
the sport
rights?
that they love?
Right, why do you care about your rights so much but not women's rights?
I do.
You don't.
I am a woman, so I care about my rights as a woman,
But you
and
have
I
a
stand for women
superior
with women.
advantage to actual biological females.
No.
You know it, and I know it.
My biology is much more female than it is male. And we can go on about science, but I'm not here to talk about science. I want you to get to know
It's
trans
all
people
about
before
science.
you try and demonize them.
I don't
I can tell
demonize
you
trans
this.
people. I know trans. Caitlyn Jenner's a good friend of mine. Right, Caitlyn Jenner won Olympic gold as a decathlete for the United States as a male because Caitlyn was born a biological male. Caitlyn now is a trans woman
why don't you
celebrated
want to
around the
allow-
world, and she
Your big
absolutely understands she has a superior biology, so she does not think it's fair. Why is she
So, okay.
wrong and you're right?
I'm not saying I'm wrong or right. I can only tell you my experience. But what I can say is that if you truly believe that going through male puberty is something that gives you such a massive advantage, then why are you fighting so hard to take away the rights of anyone who wants to go through puberty blockers, which is safe and reversible, and make the decision amongst themselves?
No, it's not. That's a lie. That is a lie. That
No,
is
it's
a
not. Prove
lie. Not only are you advocating for child abuse, but what this is, Piers, this is not only gender dysphoria and delusion. This is pure narcissism. It's a group of people that have decided that they are special cases, that they are sacred cows, that they get to do whatever the hell they want. They get to trample over everybody else, and we have to concede to them because they feel that they are special. You can be special or you can be equal, but you cannot
Well, what
be
is your
both. If you want to
problem
live your
with
life as a
someone
female,
who has
whatever,
nothing
but
to do
not
with
when
you?
you're trampling on the rights of women. period. This is narcissism. This is saying, look at me, I'm more important. All those other girls can get over it. It's just a few girls that are being left in the dust. Oh, well,
That's
just
what you're
a few
doing.
examples. If there's one
That's what
woman
you're doing.
who's being disadvantaged, if there is one woman that's being disadvantaged, that's too many. And Piers, it really, really burns my ass when I hear people say, oh, it's just a few examples. Those girls can just get over it. How about the one trans person? How about they get over it and compete against the boys? How about that?
Yeah.
Vaya que tiempos tan modernos y empáticos los que vivimos. Resulta que ahora la cúspide del heroísmo es identificarse como algo distinto y exigir que el mundo entero gire alrededor de esa nueva identidad. ¿Y quién paga el precio de tanta sensibilidad elevada al cubo? Pues sorpresa, las mujeres reales. Sí, esas que tienen que aguantar que hombres exageradamente delicados se cuelguen medallas por representar sus espacios, competir en sus deportes y hasta hablar por ellas. ¿Por qué? Porque claro, nadie entiende mejor el ser mujer que alguien que lo decidió un martes por la tarde. Antes luchaban por el derecho al voto, por entrar a la universidad, por tener voz. Ahora les dicen que se callen si se les ocurre decir que ser mujer es algo más que una declaración de intenciones. Derechos solo si no molestan al nuevo grupo favorito del aplausómetro progre. Pero todo sea por la justicia, ¿no? Especialmente si esa justicia viene con filtro de arco iris y subtítulos en tono pasivo-agresivo.